Chicago Bears heading into the 2025 season is definitely one of the most unpredictable teams. With Caleb Williams entering year 2, having a new head coach, and them having a ton of roster upgrades, genuinely I can see the Bears being a legit playoff contender next year. I mean, they have a legit squad, especially with the new coach that they added, because this guy right here, he's one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. But knowing how the Chicago Bears have been over the past couple of years, I mean, they've gone so long without winning a playoff game. It's been 14 years since the Bears have won a playoff game. They could do what the Bears normally do and fall short of the NFL playoffs, but I don't know, something just feels genuinely different about the Chicago team going into the 2025 season. With the draft right around the corner, I feel like it's a perfect time to go ahead and break down the Chicago team. So before I get into it, make sure you guys drop a like and follow for more. Let me know what you guys think about the Bears in the comments. Let me know if you guys think Caleb Williams can truly be a superstar quarterback in the NFL, and let's get straight into it talking about, Caleb Williams. First off, biggest thing I want to go ahead and talk about is Caleb Williams' year 2 leap. What is he going to be able to do in year 2? We saw a lot of ups and downs in year 1. I think one of his biggest highs was we saw a lot of big plays in the Chicago Bear offense, a ton of them from Caleb Williams. And of course, the biggest thing is they needs to improve on his ability to go ahead and get out of sacks and, not hold on to the ball for too long. But I can't put too much blame on him for that because the offensive line sucked so much last year in Chicago. I mean, he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. It was not beautiful whatsoever. I think those are his biggest strengths and weaknesses, and going on, and he needs to go ahead and improve on. I think he can get a little better accurately and also not turn over the ball as much, which he didn't even throw that many interceptions last year, so him turning over the ball wouldn't be that important. He only threw 6, which as a rookie quarterback, I'd say that is pretty good. His strengths, throwing the ball down the field, I think he's really great at that in this offense, and Ben Johnson is going to exploit that even more going forward. And I forgot to also mention his legs are a huge strength. He's able to go ahead and be mobile and pick up crucial yards on crucial downage. I mean, we see in this clip right here on this 4th and 4 versus Minnesota, he was able to go ahead and do it. My biggest thing is, can he make a leap like Joe Burrow did? Can he make a leap like Trevor Lawrence did in year 2? Now, we don't talk about what Trevor Lawrence is doing right now, but that year 2 leap, that is my biggest thing that I want to go ahead and look at. Is he able to make a Burrow, Trevor Lawrence type leap and just have an immaculate season, make the Pro Bowl year 2, or go ahead and be almost there as a playoff team? I just need to see something. If he can be the first Chicago Bears 4,000 yard passer, I feel like that would be huge for them. Him getting a 4,000 passing yards, that really improves something right there and really shows that he is a serious quarterback for the Chicago Bears, because having a quarterback that has never reached 4,000 yards just tell you how bad quarterbacks have been in Bears history, and I genuinely believe he can be the guy to go ahead and get it done and have that leap in year 2. So when we talk about Caleb Williams having that big jump, it's going to be single-handedly because of one man, and that is because his new head coach, Ben Johnson, is going to be the guy to go ahead and show off his wonderful offensive mind. He's truly a game changer for this Bears offense. We saw how poor. We saw the Bears players not get used to their strengths last year, like Rome Odunze, horrible rookie season. DJ Moore, horrible games. Keenan Allen wasn't popping off till late in the season. Like, there was just a lot of question marks, and the offense wasn't stable or consistent whatsoever. But Ben Johnson, one of the best young offensive minds in the NFL. Now, I don't want to get too technical and too into the scheme, because I already did that when I did his coaching video, which if you didn't check out me grading the coaches, go ahead and check it out. I'm expecting more deep shots, more quicker reads, and more creative play design, especially more creative play design. Ben Johnson's offense is so creative, man. We saw a ton of creative plays in Detroit last year. This is going to be the offense to propel Caleb Williams to that top 15, top 10 quarterback range this season. This sophomore season, I truly is going to believe is going to be super special. Ben Johnson, he's a serious NFL head coach, and NFL teams need to watch out, because if you thought the offense in Detroit was good, man, oh man, the offense in Chicago is also about to be really good. And I feel like the biggest strength of Ben Johnson's offense is you need a good offensive line. Caleb was getting sacked last year. Detroit, they had an amazing offensive line. Him and Ryan Poles have shown that they need some help. So you know what they've done? Traded for Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs and basically gave up nothing, which was huge. He's an amazing offensive lineman. He's been in KC for years. He also had a stint in New England for a little bit. Amazing offensive lineman. And they also got Jonah Jackson from the Rams. These two guys are definitely going to go ahead and help Caleb Williams, and they're able to run the ball better as well. Because like I said, Caleb was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL last year. He was averaging getting sacked 4 times a game, which is, if you have your quarterback get sacked 4 times a game, you ain't going to go ahead and win. Second most sacked quarterback in the league, I think, on a per game percentage. These guys are definitely going to go ahead and give huge boosts to the pack protection and the run blocking. And we cannot forget about the weapons in the offense. DJ Moore, of course, a wonderful wide receiver we all know and love. Rome Odunze, Odunze, this could be the breakout season for him. We saw him in college. He has the ability. We saw some flashes last season. He has the ability to go ahead and be a good wide receiver. Cole Kmet, one of the most underrated tight ends in the league, I would say. He's had some pretty solid games in the past. And then DeAndre Swift, will he be the lead back, or maybe they're thinking about adding some competition this offseason? Because I'm not so sure is he going to be the lead guy. He can receive the ball, and we all know how much Ben Johnson loved DeAndre Swift when he was in Detroit. If you've been watching the NFL for a couple of years, you know what I mean by that, because Swift was kind of in the doghouse sometimes. Then you get to talking about the defense under Dennis Allen. Now, of course, Dennis Allen was the Saints coach. He got fired. Now, the defensive coordinator, or the guy who called defensive plays before, was Matt Eberflus. Guess what? He got fired. He was the previous head coach. So having Dennis Allen in there, I feel like Dennis Allen would be a better defensive coordinator than he would be a head coach. He said in a press conference that he wants to be attacking and a lot of aggressive styles of defense, which I think it's fair. He wants to go ahead. He has that experience, and he wants to go ahead and bring structure to the Chicago defense, because after Matt Eberflus got fired last year, I feel like the defense just completely fell apart. I saw in that game versus San Francisco, nothing was working. They were just getting the score ran up on them. And they got some solid guys on defense. They got Montez Sweat, a dominant pass rusher from Washington. He's been great for a couple of years now. They traded for him. He's been amazing. TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, I would say an outstanding linebacker duo. These two guys right here, they've been in the league for a minute now. They both gotten signed, and these two guys have been great at the linebacker core. And you got guys like Jalen Johnson in the secondary, one of the best corners in the league. I don't care what anyone says, Jalen Johnson is amazing. You got Kevin Byard, you know, he's a veteran guy. He's been in the league for a couple years now. He's with Philly a couple years ago, Tennessee stint. Generally, I think this defense can be a top 10 defense, also depending on what they go ahead and do in the draft. But generally, I could see this defense being top 10 or at least top 15, because they have the pieces. We saw last year, they definitely have the pieces there. They just got to have structure, be aggressive, and not give up big plays, which I truly believe Chicago can do. Now I want to get into talking about like how they stack up against the NFC North, because I feel like this is interesting. When I talk about the Bears being a playoff team, I feel like them just, you know, talking about what they need to do in the division and who they play in the division, because honestly, they might have the toughest division in the NFL. The NFC North is just all around just solid everywhere. They got a ton of good teams. All four teams are good, and I think everyone is dangerous. Of course, they got the Lions. It's still the team to be in the division, still the guys that are, you know, gonna be up there. Ben Johnson revenge games are gonna be very, very interesting to see what he can do. Very interested to see what Detroit's offense is gonna do without Ben Johnson. I don't know who's gonna go ahead and call the offensive plays. Well, I think I do know, but I wonder who's gonna bring that creativity that they once had. Jordan Love and the Packers are still there, even though I'd say they're probably the worst team in the NFC North right now. That might be a little crazy, but they just don't want to give Jordan Love a receiver. If they would have got Jordan Love a receiver, we could have conversations, but they keep ducking these offensive skill players that need to get. They did nothing in free agency. I ain't gonna even get into all that right now. I truly believe the Packers are the worst team in the NFC North. And you got the Minnesota Vikings, man. Still an amazing, solid team. Just have JJ McCarthy at quarterback. Still, everything is stacked. Offense, defense, Kevin O'Connell a head coach. This Bear team is either going to be the fourth team or the third team in the NFC North, which is going to be kind of hard for them. They're going to have to stack up. If they miss playoffs, I truly believe it's going to be just because of these division games were so tough on them, especially in those games versus the Lions and the Vikings. I see they can beat the Packers. We saw that last year. Thank God that we won't see the Bears just continuously losing to the Packers. But hey, Lions and Vikings versus the Bears, these games are going to be very, very interesting. And these games should be nationally televised, because there's going to be some games. But generally, I feel like they could end up third in the division. I think that the NFC is a little bit weaker when it comes to the playoff side, so I think they would be able to go ahead and make the playoffs as the wild card. And when you get into talking about the draft, the Bears have the 10th pick in the draft this upcoming season. If you want to go ahead and talk about the draft and what they should do, very, very interesting draft class right here, and they're a very interesting position. For some reason, I always got a feeling the Bears could go ahead and trade back, just because I don't know, just I've been doing mock drafts, and sometimes I feel like the Bears could be a team that trades back. But of course, there's the flashy option if he falls to 10. Ashton Genty. I mean, he'd be a dynamic playmaker to go ahead and pair with DeAndre Swift. These guys would be all around amazing on the football field. Having Swift as a receiving back and Genty as a bruiser back, I genuinely feel like a lot of teams are going to want to copy what Detroit did, especially with Ben Johnson being there. He's going to want his double running back, his Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And I feel like Genty and I feel like Swift could potentially be those guys if that's what he wants to work with. Genty falls all the way down to 10. If not, there's always guys like adding another offensive lineman because there's a ton of linemen available in this draft. You know, they can go ahead building the trenches. We know how serious he is about the trenches. Or potentially maybe adding an edge rusher, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. I feel like that could be a potential guy right there. There's also a ton of edge rushers in this draft. Mike Green would also be another great one. There's a ton of edge rushers. What they can do at pick 10 is truly to them. I feel like if Genti's there, I got to take a guy like Genti, even more like dynamic ability. I feel like that'd be a perfect option if Genti was still available. But there's some teams before that I feel like could go ahead and select Genti. But I wouldn't be mad if they drafted another lineman or an edge rusher, because I feel like having those two things right there and building the trenches even more is perfect when it comes to football. Are the Bears gonna be a playoff team in 2025? What is their floor? Their floor, everything goes pretty mid and the Bears do what they normally do. I could see them having like 6 wins and that being kind of a disappointing season. Their ceiling, I would see, would be a wild card team. I'd say their max ceiling would be 10 wins. Everything really goes, because honestly their schedule ain't that bad. I mean, they do have some tough opponents. Of course, they have their division and the Bengals and the Eagles and the Ravens. Now that might be kind of tough, but they got some beatable teams in there. I mean, they got the Browns, the Giants, the Steelers, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Raiders. Like, there's definitely some teams in there they can go ahead and beat, and I know for sure they're not going to go ahead and get swept by every team in their division. So realistically, I could see their ceiling being 9 to 10 wins this season. Especially if Caleb Williams go ahead, he takes command of the offense. I generally think this could be a 10-win team in Chicago. You might call me crazy, but you know what? I truly believe Ben Johnson and Caleb have the skills to go ahead and do this. Playoff teams, I generally think they're going to be able to be the 7th seed, especially. I think they will be able to be a guy. They have enough talent. They got everything they need on the roster. I just really want to see what they do with the draft, and genuinely, I would be predicting the Chicago team to be a 9-win, 10-win team, depending on how well their schedule goes. But that's my take, guys. This season is going to be make or break for the Bears. Could they surprise everyone, or could I just be lying to you guys and they'd just be stuck in mediocrity? I honestly wouldn't be surprised. It's the freaking Chicago Bears. What do you guys think, though? Do you guys think that the Bears are going to be able to go ahead and, you know, come out and have an outstanding season, actually win football games, and not be the laughing stock of the NFL? Which I know that's the Cleveland Browns, but the laughing stock of, you know, mediocrity, I would say. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like and subscribe for more daily content. Yes, 2 videos in 1 week, guys. I got y'all's back. We are very, very back. But then again, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one coming very, very soon.